and welcome to this weekly edition of my weekly wear series. I have got a box of stuff that I am very excited to test out. You guys started messaging me recently saying, Cassie, please try this product, CoverGirl made a mistake. This doesn't really matter, but do we see every single one of these bottles says that it's the shade 510 porcelain? Yikes. But anyways, CoverGirl recently came out with a collection here of the new clean fresh line. It is vegan, cruelty-free, and has coconut and aloe in it, so it's supposed to be just very good for you. For healthy natural skin and all-day hydration. And there are multiple products in this launch, so there is the foundation, and then they've got some lip oil tints, some cream blushes, and then I believe cream highlights. So we will be able to test these all out. There are 4 shades of highlighter, 4 shades of cream blushes, 6 shades of the lip tints, and 14 shades of the foundation. I think Fair is probably going to be best for me, the 520 Fair. So I will give that a try. Just a little more in-depth on the foundation here. Here are the shades, and for reference in real life, here are the bottles for the fairest and the deepest shade in this line of product. It really, to me, looks like it's lacking in deep shades. It's very much so concentrated in the medium and light medium range. But they say that we can show off some fresh and healthy skin with this stuff. It's called the Skin Milk, which honestly I don't love the name of it. Not as bad as a flesh stick, but something about Skin Milk is just kind of like, doesn't do it for me. But it is formulated without a bunch of bad stuff, and it is supposed to be lightweight and nourishing to give skin the moisture boost that it craves, with a delicate infusion of milky coconut and soothing aloe. Experience a glowing, dewy finish that lasts all day long, blurring imperfections and creating a more even skin tone. They also say to use, they say to use the CoverGirl True Blend face primer. I have one of those. I should test it with this stuff, right? I mean, why not? They also sent this clear card. Talks about the products. So the foundation is $9.99, and you're supposed to get a sheer buildable coverage from this. They say that apparently 99% of skin tones have a match in these 14 shades. I don't believe that for a second. It also looks like the highlighter and blush are both limited edition. At least that's how they have them labeled. The highlighter also is cooling, and it's $8.99. Same with the blush, also $8.99. It's just gonna give a fresh, dewy glow. And then the tinted lip oil is $8.99. Gonna give shine, long-lasting moisture, keep the lips soft and conditioned for up to 6 hours. All right, here are the different blush colors. I love that one of the lip oils, one of the tinted lip oils, is transparent. How is transparent tinted? Along with that transparent color, here are the actual colors of the lip tints. So let's get to testing here. Zoom you in a little bit, show you the state of my skin. Mostly good, except for between my brows. I am honestly at the point where I think I'm just gonna stop plucking my brows altogether, because at least in the middle here, they just get ingrown. I don't know why this past few months it's been just awful. So yeah, okay, so for this first day of testing, I will just do half of my face without primer, and then I'll do half with this mattifying CoverGirl primer, since I mean, I have it, I may as well. I know I suggested it, but I know that's just a marketing ploy to get you to buy more of their products. But we'll see. I do like this primer, so smooth this on. I think this will definitely help, at least I would assume it will, since this foundation is going to be quite dewy from what it sounds like. I really would like to wear concealer today as well, since it is going to be very sheer, but you know, that's just not in the cards for a first day of testing. At least not for me. So yes, as I said, I will be trying out the 520 Fair shade. I don't think it's gonna be too dark on me. I really hope not. I mean, I guess thankfully if I do need to go down a shade, I can have that option, but okay. So right off the bat, you know, it is a runnier foundation, not the most liquidy I've ever seen. I suppose I'll do the not primed side first. Cross-contaminate. I'm just using this Tarte brush to buff this in. I don't know why, but I feel like it smells like popcorn. It's really strange, but I don't hate it. Yeah, it's like freshly popped popcorn. That is so strange. So there we go. Definitely a sheer amount of coverage as they claimed. I see blemishes peeking through, but I do think it helped to kind of even things out a bit. Now let's see how it does on the primed side, as well as with a sponge. Honestly, I don't think the sponge sheared it out as much as I thought it would. I think it looks pretty nice, so I am going to try building this a little bit because it says that it's buildable. And as I said, I'm not wearing concealer today, and I kind of would like to, so we'll see how much this can cover. Alright, so there we go. There it is. I certainly think I was able to build it up a little bit. Not a ton. To me, this would be, at least for my preferred coverage, I can definitely see that I will need a concealer in the future. But, you know, for a sheer foundation, as it is marketed, I think it does a good job at giving a sheer, light, medium kind of a coverage. I don't know that I'd go so far as medium, but definitely sheer to light, bordering on the light medium kind of a coverage. You can still see redness on some of my more prominent blemishes on my forehead and on my cheek near my nose, but overall I think it looks good. It feels light and fresh. I do want to powder just a little bit. Nothing too crazy, especially on the areas where I will be putting the cream products. aka my cheeks, I will avoid powdering those, but just with my oily skin, I really want to set this at least a little bit. Alright, also went ahead and did my contour, and now I'm gonna go in with the Opal Dreams highlighter. It smells fruity. Just looks like a highlight stick. Ooh, very, very melty, oily feeling almost. And slightly cooling. It doesn't look like it's got too much of an impact, if I'm being completely honest. Like, at all. I mean, there's what it looks like on my finger. I don't know. I like a natural highlight, as most of you know, but this is a little too natural, even for me. Like, if I put on a product, even if I want it to be subtle, I still want it to be noticeable. But I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe like in the summer, if I ever have a day where I'm not wearing foundation, but I still want to do up my cheeks, maybe this would be a product for that, but otherwise, not so thrilled with that highlight. Now let's see about the blush. I'm gonna try out 330 Sweet Innocence. It's just that kind of a tube. Oh, this kind of a blush makes me so nervous. I really don't know the proper technique. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Okay. So that's definitely got an impact. Nice glow to it, I guess you could say. Whew, maybe it's a good thing that that highlight wasn't super impactful, because this blush is doing a lot of the work. Okay, well. Again, I feel like this is more so one of those products that I would want to use when I'm not wearing foundation. I'm just gonna do some eye stuff real quick, and then I'll be back. We can test out the lip product. I don't know what color I want to wear. Maybe this corally orange. Oh, it's got a great pun, so yes, I'm glad I went with this one. 140 Swipe Ripe instead of Swipe Right. Okay, well, here it is. Oh, yum. It smells like watermelon Kool-Aid, like when it's still in the powder form. It smells good. Oh, so good. super pretty. Nice sheer wash of color. It doesn't feel insanely hydrating or anything. I mean, it doesn't feel dry, it's a lip oil, but it doesn't feel like I put a chapstick on, like that kind of a hydration. But overall, here's the look. Definitely looking dewy and fresh, that sort of a thing. I mean, a little less dewy just in terms of, you know, I powdered my face. But overall, here you go. Here is the look on day one. Honestly, I don't hate it. I really don't. So yeah, there we go. I'm gonna get on with my day here, as always. It's a little bit later in the day, so I probably won't be checking in with you all periodically, but maybe. And also, but in any case, I will just see you all at the very end of the night. Ready? Ding! All right, so it is not quite the end of the night here. I'm still gonna be up for a few hours getting some work done. But I just got back from celebrating my mom's birthday, so happy birthday to her. And I need something on my lips. We went out to dinner, so I didn't think this was gonna last through, but my lips just feel so dry. Please keep in mind, I am a lip balm addict, so like anytime I don't have anything on my lips, I'm like, ugh. Definite SpongeBob moment. But I actually think the foundation is looking really good. It is certainly like kind of creased around my mouth. Oh, and it looks like it's worn off underneath my glasses. But other than that, I mean, the blush and everything still looks super high powered, and things have certainly felt comfy on my face anyways. All right, let's rehydrate. Oh, thank God. It's not much, but it's something. It is something. So much better. So yeah, as I said, I'm just gonna be getting work done here for the next few hours. However, I will still be seeing you at the end of the night, so I will see you all then in just a second here. Ready? Ding! All right, my friends, end of the night here. I'm so happy. I spruced up my little fake plant back here. I thought I was looking a little leaf bare, you know, threadbare, leaf bare. Either way, I feel like I'm in a jungle now. But it's the end of the night. I am ready to take off my makeup and go to bed. I'm a sleepy Cass. So, as I think you can see, the lip oil is completely gone off of my lips, and it doesn't seem to leave any sort of a stain behind, which is a bummer. But in terms of the foundation, I do think that everything held in better on the side with the primer. It's not a huge difference, but like on my nose, in my nose pores, I think you can certainly see the difference, which side had a primer and which did not. But overall, you know, it's the end of the night here, and I'm just starting to feel oily and look a bit oily, but I don't think things look bad. So I am certainly curious to keep on testing this out, and I'm excited to do so with you all. The foundation that is. The other products, I think I can already tell, are just not really my cup of tea, but I'm excited to keep on testing out this foundation. I think right now it seems pretty promising. So I will just be seeing you all in just a second here, and then I can tell you how I feel about this after some more days of wear. Ready? Ding! All right, hello everyone. Good evening. It is the end of my testing from this past week of this new CoverGirl line. I have some mixed feelings, kind of across the board, really. What else is new? Let's talk about them. Let me show you, and perhaps you'll understand why. So, to begin, day 2 of testing, I went ahead and I used my Smashbox primer, as I typically do for my second day of wear, and I also went ahead and used my Kaja under eye concealer because sleep has not been a big part of my life lately. So, tried canceling out my dark circles under my eyes as best I could, and also used my Too Faced concealer so that I could get some good coverage on my blemishes and hopefully be able to use less of this foundation. See how that ended up working, and I thought it looked mostly good at first, the foundation, when I applied it upon first application. However, it was slightly patchy and not looking great on the like mainly right side of my face near my hairline. I wasn't sure if that was because it wasn't working well with the primer. I wasn't sure. It almost kind of seemed like, I don't know, some foundations when you use a sponge to blend it out, a damp sponge, it kind of gathers weird and patches off. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, right? It was that kind of a texture, so I wasn't so happy with that. It also looked really bad in my nose pores. That being said, I did the best I could, getting it all blended in as best I could. I really just don't like the way the highlighter went on and everything. It just kind of like pulls the foundation off, and the blush is just a lot. But you know, that's just what it was. I also did go ahead and use the highlighter and blush and lip product once again, although with the lip product, I did test it out with a lip stain on underneath just to see if that could give me a bit of a stain on my lips to go with this pretty colored tint. It felt nice and secure all day, the foundation, and honestly at the end of the night I didn't check in until about 10 hours later because I didn't feel like I needed to. I thought it looked mostly really nice. It was a bit faded, you know, in the center of my face where I get the oiliest, and it was also wiped off my nose a bit. I've had this awful, like, I'm on the precipice of a cold, so basically I've been having to blow my nose a lot, so I mean, did this really have a chance at staying on my nose? I don't know, but I gave it a shot, and that is how it looked at the end of the night. Transfer resistant for the most part. Like, overall I was pretty pleased. I could still see the blush. The lip product was completely gone, and I think because it is a lip oil, it basically just completely took off the stain as well underneath it, so that was a bummer to see. But here on day 3, I thought that it was probably the primer. Like, maybe this foundation just doesn't get on with that Smashbox primer for whatever reason, so I had high hopes for the Guerlain since they're completely different feeling primers on my skin. So I used my beloved Guerlain primer and then went ahead and did my Too Faced concealer as well as a layering of this foundation to get my desired coverage. I thought it looked much better than it did on day 2. However, I did still think it had a little bit of that patchiness like near my hairline for whatever reason, and just overall I thought it looked okay. And throughout today it's just, you know, been a normal day for me, lots of errand running, getting stuff done, and it's like 9 hours later and I feel like this looks pretty freaking good for a drugstore foundation. You get what I'm saying? I did not use the blush highlight today. I did use the lip oil earlier. I'm not wearing it now at the end of the night here because that is the one thing I will say about these products is that, or at least the lip products, it's really heavily scented and it also has that taste to it. So if you lick your lips a lot throughout the day and or if you have this on when you're eating, chances are you're gonna end up tasting it too, and it doesn't taste great. It's just an artificial fruity lip kind of a taste, if you get what I mean. So overall, I mean, I don't think the lip products are for me. They're just not quite hydrating and viscous enough. I like a bit more of a texture to my lip products, but if you like really lightweight stuff, this might be something to check out for you. The lip product anyways, the blush, oh my god, no, you've got to like high impact. I don't know, that blush, it's a lot. I don't know, it's fine, I guess. I was able to blend it out and everything, but it's just, it's really high impact, and the highlight, I just don't like the formula of it. It just doesn't work well with this foundation. I don't feel like you can hardly see it, and that's coming from someone who likes a subtle highlight. I just overall was not a fan of the highlight, but the foundation, I think it's worth further testing, at least for me. That's how I'm feeling. I'm certainly very curious to see how it's gonna work in the summer, but just to spell things out a little bit easier for you guys, here are my pros and cons. The first pro is certainly that I do think this has some sort of oil control to it. I haven't had to blot, like that's pretty good, and don't get me wrong, I'm still looking oily at the end of the day. But I haven't had to blot, so I think that's great. I also feel that it is quite transfer resistant. You guys have been able to see whenever I would touch my nose, I barely, if any, it's mostly oil on my finger, not really the foundation, so that's great as well. It is super lightweight. It feels like I'm wearing a foundation, but as I said, it feels really nice and secure, so it feels like a very lightweight foundation on the skin, nice and comfy to wear, and also fade on it throughout the day with wear is mostly graceful. If you get really, really oily like I do, like around my nose and stuff, that's where it was coming off the most, and it does pretty much just completely come off in those areas, but I don't think it looks too apparent, and I think it just mostly looks good throughout the day. So the fade is pretty dang good. Not the best, but also pretty dang good. And then in terms of the cons, the first one is going to be that I don't find that this blends very easily. Like, it just, I don't know, there's got to be some kind of a special magic technique that I'm just missing out on here, but I've tried stippling, I've tried brushing, blending, sponging, patting, all sorts of stuff, and I just haven't quite figured out the right mix yet. It'll still end up looking gathered and patchy in some areas, but for the most part I can get it to work, but I just don't think that it blends the nicest. Along with that is that it can be a little patchy looking at first if you are like me and can't get it to blend super well. It also is primer specific, which I personally find to be a con. I thought it did really bad with the Smashbox primer for whatever reason, but I feel like with the CoverGirl primer in my first day of testing and then this Guerlain primer, I feel like it worked well. So that does suck that it doesn't work well with all primers. And then last but not least for a con, I think the shade range could definitely be improved upon. Could certainly use a couple more light shades, and by light I mean fair, and then could also especially use many more dark and deep shades. So those are my pros and cons. Those are my thoughts on these new CoverGirl products. I hope it was helpful for you guys. If you have been interested, if you've been seeing commercials and stuff on YouTube like I have, hopefully this let you know how these products work and you can figure out if you want to try them out yourself as well. The one that I would recommend is the foundation if you have oilier skin. I feel like I saw in reviews on their website too that a lot of people with dry skin were saying that it was really not good, so I think the consensus is that this is surprisingly a dewy foundation that's good for oily skin. So certainly let me know in the comments down below if you have been interested in any of these products. Have you tried them yet? How did you feel about them? How'd you get on with them? What kind of skin do you have, etc., etc. It is always good to cook up a nice casserole of comments with you guys in the comments down below. You can also let me know if you enjoyed this video, found it helpful, whatever the case may be, by giving me a thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. And if you are new here, hey, hi, hello, how are you? You can go ahead and subscribe. You can tippity tap that notification bell down below. Become a member of my casserole family here on my channel. I would love to have you here. And as always, I just hope you guys are all doing well. And until next time, just stay well until then. Bye!